was the year 1976, in the middle of June. 3 teenage boys were hiking along the Colorado River when out of the corner of one boy's eye, he sees an oddly shaped tree. He then turns to get a better look. Once he does, he was in disbelief to see what appears to be a face. He turns back to the other 2 friends only to see they are seeing exactly what he saw. Without another thought, he grabs the closest thing to him, which was a rock. He then throws it towards the tree. As the rock smacks into the face that this tree has, the eyes opened wide. The 3 boys ran as fast as they could out of there. Later that evening, when the teens returned home, they were unsure what to think, let alone believe. They then decided to return the following day only to discover the tree with the face had just disappeared. Out of confusion, they patrolled the area with still no sign of the creature. They dismissed the entire thing, thinking maybe their minds were playing tricks on them. They continued their day as if nothing had happened. Once returning home, the news channel was on, not paying much attention. The 3 boys began to walk back towards a room only to be stopped hearing the words "River Demon" coming from the TV. In a panic, they rush back to the living room. As they are watching the news, an officer is speaking about how there are numerous children that have been missing. Believing there to be a serial killer on the loose, also known as the River Demon. The following morning, officers, FBI, and scientists were surrounding a section of the Colorado River, planning to locate any evidence surrounding the disappearance of the children. A small group of scientists join in a boat to take photos of the bank, while another group collects samples from the dirt that has been tampered with, almost seeming like there was a struggle that had happened. The 3 boys return only to see all these people blocking the riverbank from public access. They approached one of the officers to see what was going on. The officer then explains. The boy who witnessed the strange creature then tries to explain what he had seen the previous days before. With the boy's description, the officer now believes they are dealing with an alligator. The boy starts to disagree with the officer, stating that it was something much scarier than that. After he and the officer have their argument, the officer then has all 3 teens escorted away from the area. The boy was so angry he eventually returned that following evening to get proof he wasn't lying about it not being an alligator. After waiting, walking around, and listening to the sounds from the water, the boy was ready to pack up and just go home, assuming maybe the cops were right. Just as he was getting ready to leave, he heard what seemed to be a deep groan coming from a small, bushy area. He starts to walk closer to see where it was coming from. He begins to move a few branches. Upon doing so, he becomes overwhelmed with fear, almost frozen in place. He shakes his head, reminding himself he needed proof. Trying to get his camera ready, he looks up to see piercing red eyes looking directly at him. He manages to snap a few photos. He wanted more. When he looked back up to see where to snap a photo, the creature was gone. Once the fear and realization sank in, he tries to get out of there only to be grabbed by the ankle, being flown backwards, and losing his camera, he gets dragged into the river. The next morning, officers arrive back on scene to continue their investigation, only to be horrified to see new markings in the dirt and a camera that had died from the night before. The officers gather the new evidence they have and take it back to the station to hopefully get a better answer to what they are dealing with. Once the camera is charged, the officers turn it on, and to their surprise, they see a dark silhouette with glowing red eyes, but no other features. Starting to wonder if someone captured a dog or some other animal by mistake. Officers then go to find the scientists who have done all the samples to figure out what they have come up with. When the scientists reveal what they had discovered, everyone was in shock. It wasn't an alligator or a dog, let alone any other creature they have ever heard of. With this new discovery, the scientists recommend creating a net that spreads all the way across the Colorado River to hopefully capture this strange phenomenon and placing it inside a giant tank. Officers along with the FBI gather all the materials and supplies they need to create the net to capture the creature. The teams of officers, FBI, and scientists split off into teams of 2 on boats. They have the net on either side of the river and begin moving forwards up the river. They continue this for a few hours in high hopes they have caught something. By the time they return to shore, they feel a sharp tug on the net. Starting to panic, they rush pulling the net in as fast as they could, hoping to see something. With relief, shock, and overwhelming fear, they finally see it. The river demon, glowing red eyes, greenish mossy-looking tree with the face the young boy had seen before. After reeling it in and containing it in the tank, the officers, FBI, and scientists gather around the tank in amazement, surprise, and fear just thinking this was in a river. They wondered how long it had been here and where have all the children gone. There was no trace of bones or clothes. The FBI and scientists left with the creature in the tank, while the officers returned to the station still trying to figure out where these missing bodies were. After a few years, officers still have never found the bodies nor heard anything more about the creature. To this day, the creature is still in an unknown location, never knowing what has happened to the Colorado River demon.